I'm sure by now most of you have probably heard that the terrible, god-awful, absolute dumpster fire that was the Paramount Halo TV show has been cancelled after 2 abysmally pathetic seasons. Now, I will admit second season was a lot better than season 1, but it was still really terrible. When season 1 is one of the worst seasons of TV ever put to film, it goes to any reason that obviously anything slightly better is going to look pretty fucking good in comparison, and that's what happened with season 2. But make no mistake about it, this whole show, including season 2, was terrible. Absolutely terrible. I don't want to talk too much about the stuff that made the show bad itself. I have a lot of videos and a lot of streams on this channel going over each episode individually and some stuff with the making of the show. But ultimately, if I had to narrow down the main reasons as to why this show ultimately failed was, one, it was a awful adaptation of the Halo story. It had absolutely zero respect for the source material. Another reason is this show was not canon. And I have talked before how that ended up being a little bit of a saving grace for the franchise as a whole, which really is not in a good state these days. This show being non-canon means it ultimately didn't matter whether it was good or not. It doesn't affect anything because, well, it's not canon. And it being non-canon is what led to the creation of the Silver Timeline, where they could make all the retarded changes that they wanted to. And yeah, every single change they made was retarded. They got so much basic stuff wrong. There was a part in season 2, just to give you an idea of the lack of care that they had for this show, that the subtitles for the Jackals, the Kigya speaking, it said they were speaking in Sangheili. Now, the Sangheili is the elites, and it's a totally different species with a totally different language. It would be like me speaking in English right now if the subtitles said I was speaking in French. 2 completely different languages. Except in this case it was even worse because 2 completely different species. Another thing that made this show god-awful was the portrayal of Master Chief, even though we all came to know him as Master Cheeks for various different reasons. Any character you can point to in the show was a terrible representation of the character. The only one that maybe came somewhat close and was actually okay at times was Halsey. But the key thing of this was Master Cheeks, or Master Chief, whatever you want to call him. We all call him Cheeks. His portrayal was awful. Whether that be from him being black-pilled throughout most of the show, or him constantly taking off his helmet to show his face on screen because Pablo Schreiber's a bit of an arrogant asshole. The fact that he put all of humanity at risk to get a bit of pussy. The list goes on and on. And anyway, I'm starting to fall into the trap of talking about why this was a bad show. But what I really want to focus on is what is the future, if any, for the Halo show on Paramount. Well, the first things first, it's definitely not going to be on Paramount. Paramount's done with it. But let's talk a little bit about Paramount in general before we move on. Paramount's been in a pretty poor position for, well, I think forever. I don't really know anybody that has a Paramount account. But anyway, I've heard that the streaming service itself is hard to navigate. It doesn't have a good UI. It's just a terrible streaming service in general. But they have faced, as much as the rest of the entertainment industry has, quite a lot of financial hardship. And they've had failed negotiation after failed negotiation. At one stage, they were looking to merge with, I think it was Warner, with HBO or something, but that just completely fell through. They did want to get with Skydance, which they did inevitably do, but this ongoing discussion was so devastating back and forth with Paramount that they had to increase their prices at one stage, and then Paramount did eventually end up joining with Skydance, but this, I want you to look at this date. This was July 8th. We are recording this video on the 19th, so 11 days later, and this is the news that is dropping regarding the Halo show. So this is an interesting write-up that pretty much cuts through a lot of the nonsense and just gets right to the point, and ironically, it's on IGN of all places, getting right to the point. Despite many of these trash websites, including IGN, trying to tell us that this Halo show was good and telling us all to forgive season 1 because season 2 was so much better when it really, yeah, I guess it was better, like I said, but it was still a piece of shit. Anyway, Halo TV series is cancelled on Paramount Plus after 2 seasons. Now, this sentence up here is the interesting part. Xbox will try to shop the series elsewhere after cancellation. That's something we have to keep in mind. So Paramount Plus isn't moving forward with the Halo TV series. It was announced today cancelling the video game adaptation after 2 seasons. And there is a quote here: "We are extremely proud of the ambitious series and would like to thank our partners at Xbox, 343 Industries, and Amblin TV, along with the showrunner and executive producer, David Weiner, his fellow executive producers, the entire cast led by Pablo Schreiber as the Master Cheeks, and an amazing crew for all their outstanding work," Paramount Plus said in a statement to The Hollywood Reporter, "and we wish everyone the best going forward. We deeply appreciate the millions of fans who propelled the Halo series to be a global success and remain committed to broadening the Halo universe in different ways in the future," added 343 Industries. "We are grateful to Amblin and Paramount for their partnership in bringing our expansive sci-fi universe to viewers worldwide." I will just add on to this part that, well, it's not really yours, is it, 343? You might own it, but you didn't create it. Let's not be stupid. And talking about how this show was a massive success, that is one narrative that absolutely frustrated me. We were told constantly leading up to season 1, this will be good. They were telling us to give it a chance, that it will be good, when one of the first things they did was tell us it wasn't canon. We saw so many of the problems with this show damn near instantly, okay? Once they initially started to show more, the problems became evident. And then as season 1 was coming out, after the first episode, it was doomed. It was absolutely doomed from there. But we were constantly told, give it a chance. It's gonna get good. When season 1 came out and it was completely done, we were told that we were just haters and hating for the sake of it. And then leading up to season 2, when a whole lot of the interviews coming out about that following season, they were talking about how they learned so much from season 1 and how season 1 was really just testing the waters. And then the narrative became, yeah, okay, season 1 wasn't that good, but perhaps, maybe, season 2 will be a lot better and you should give it another chance. Stop looking so much into what they're saying. Blah, 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 fuckity, blah, blah, blah. And then as season 2 was coming out, it was total dog shit, and we were told that we were just hating for the sake of hating, and that this is a popular and successful show. If this show was half as successful as people on the internet told you to be, it wouldn't be getting canned, would it? Moving on, sources tell The Hollywood Reporter, however, that Amblin, Xbox, and 343 Industries will still attempt to shop the series around, meaning it could still continue elsewhere, just not on Paramount Plus. Halo wrapped its second season on the streaming platform just months ago in March. And that is something that I do think we should keep in mind. There has been quite a few shows over history which have been cancelled and then come back. I mean, Futurama just got renewed for another season. Again, Arrested Development's another good example. Look, there's plenty of examples we can all list. Now, do I think this show will get a new home? I really hope not. I absolutely, really, truly hope not. But will it? I think there's an actual fair chance it might, because Xbox, they want to get it out there, and a lot of these streaming services, they just need content on their streaming services. So if they get approached and they go, hey, we're prepared to do a lot of the work, just put it on your streaming service, there's a good chance something might take them up on the offer. I do believe Amazon has in the past turned it down when this show went through like 100 different rewrites or something stupid like that. So I can't imagine Amazon is interested. However, following the success of the Fallout TV show, whether you liked it or not, it was a successful show. Following that success, maybe Amazon might be interested in going for more video game adaptations. Another example I can think of is possibly Netflix. Netflix is working on some Gears of War content at the moment, so they might be thinking, fuck it, we'll take Halo as well and go for another Xbox IP and see what we can do with that. What I would personally like, and this is a pipe dream, I would love if another studio picks this up and completely reboots it, scraps everyone involved with this show, and goes to make a Halo show worthy of the legacy of this franchise. Get rid of everybody, and the first one to go has to be Pablo Schreiber. This isn't a personal hate bone or anything like that. It's just, as an audience, even if Pablo Schreiber was given absolute golden scripts to work with, we as an audience will only ever see him as Master Cheeks. We will never accept him as Master Chief. And yeah, I will admit I didn't like him and some of the stuff he was saying about the show, but based off the show itself, we can't not see him as Master Chief, especially if he was to go into another Halo show. Completely scrap it, start it again, make it canon, and make it a retelling. Wherever you want to start, I'm pretty sure we can all argue about what would be a good place. Would Halo 1 be a good place? Would Reach be a good place? Would Contact Harvest be a good place? There's a lot of different ideas, but there is no reason in 2024, with the way technology is now, that a Halo show cannot be made very well. Just look back to 2007 with the old Halo 3 promotional material, especially one called Landfall. Just imagine something like that. And for fuck's sakes, give us ODSTs in this show if they go ahead and do a new one. So ultimately, I really hated the Halo TV show. I hope this stays dead, but I can't jump to conclusions and say that it's 100% canned and never coming back. Xbox still wants to get it out there, so there is a chance. All I can hope for is that everybody turns it down because of the reputation this show has, and if there is one that accepts it, that they accept it and completely reboot it. But we shall see how that plays out.
Just using your hole. Yeah, I love using your hole. I'm gonna use your little asshole in your mouth, because you know what it is? It's a 3-hole date.